What is a DBA for a sole proprietorship? So, what is a DBA? A DBA, or doing business as, is an alternative name for your business that you can display to the public. A DBA is also commonly referred to as an assumed name or a trade name. DBAs are fairly common across all business entity types, but a DBA can be particularly useful for a sole proprietorship. So you may ask, what is a sole proprietorship? A sole proprietorship is when a person runs an unincorporated business on their own. This means there cannot be multiple owners of a sole proprietorship. This also means that a sole proprietorship is not a filing entity, so it cannot be incorporated. A filing entity means in order to start the company, the owner has to file formation documents with the state, and the resulting company is separate from its owners. This is not the case with a sole proprietorship. That is a key difference. Let me repeat that point again. When a company is formed, that becomes a separate entity from its owners, but this is not the case with a sole proprietorship. Now, if that is what you are, and this is really what you want, let's look at how to get a DBA. So, how you get a DBA depends on where you live, but it is usually obtained from the county clerk that you want to do business in, or by the state itself. Because your business may operate in multiple counties, you may have to apply for a DBA in multiple counties. Generally speaking, an application for a DBA is fairly straightforward. Some states and counties even allow you to apply for a DBA online. Regardless of how you apply for the DBA, you will usually have to pay a small fee to use the name. However, before you apply for a DBA, you have to check with your state and county clerk to make sure that the DBA name is available for you to use. If the name you chose is not available, then you'll have to choose an alternative name. A sole proprietorship can technically have as many DBAs as it wants. Why would a sole proprietorship need a DBA? Well, there are several advantages to using a DBA, particularly for sole proprietorship. Let's look at a few of them. Advantage number one is that it offers an alternative name different from your own personal name. A sole proprietorship is not a filing entity, which means it is not separate from its owners. So technically, a sole proprietorship is simply the name of the one owner who is running the sole proprietorship. For example, let's take the typical John Smith. John Smith starts a lawn care business without incorporating it. Then John Smith is simply running a sole proprietorship in his name. The business or sole proprietorship is not separate from John Smith. However, if John Smith decides that he wants to use a DBA to run his sole proprietorship, then he can do this by choosing an alternative name like John Smith Moving for his business. Advantage number two, a DBA provides an owner with a bit of privacy. A DBA provides some privacy for the owner of the sole proprietorship. Let's go back to our John Smith example. If John Smith doesn't get a DBA, then John Smith will be doing his business using his full legal name. What is it? John Smith. But let's assume he applies for a DBA for his lawn care business and now has the DBA XYZ Lawn Care. Then John Smith can now use the name XYZ Lawn Care on his own business cards, advertising, and invoices instead of using his own name. This means a customer can now write a check to XYZ Lawn Care, and this check will still be accepted by the bank as long as the DBA information is provided to the bank. Advantage number three, a DBA exudes professionalism. Another advantage of using a DBA is it portrays professionalism. Even though XYZ Lawn Care is not an incorporated company, customers generally view a business with a name as a bit more professional than simply using your personal legal name. Advantage number four, a DBA can lead to name recognition among customers. A good DBA can easily be recognized by customers. This makes it easier for customers to not only remember the name of your business for their own use, but to recommend your business to others more easily. Hopefully the advantage of a DBA is clear. Let's say you got your DBA. Now, the next question is what? Glad you asked. How long is a DBA good for? Well, it depends on where you live. Generally speaking, most states and counties require that a DBA be renewed every 5 years, but some states have 10-year renewal requirements or no renewal requirements at all. You may want to check these requirements with the county you are applying to. In summary, what does this mean? If you're a sole proprietorship, consider getting a DBA for your business. It's fairly simple and not very expensive, and the benefits far outweigh the fees associated with not having a DBA.